In this chapter, we're going to close the side seams here. And I just want to say again, for everyone that hasn't got a serger at home, you could use a French seam. Just go down to the bonus feature. You will find the video on how to do a French seam. And then you could just do that instead, because everything else, and including the armhole, we could bind that. You could make this super neat on the inside, regardless of having a serger or overlocker. Before we close the side seams, we now need to serge or overlock the edges. You could also do this at the start, of course, but it doesn't matter if you do it a little bit later like I'm doing here. Now we're going to close our side seams. Again, it's 1 centimeter seam allowance. Do the same on the other side. Now we're going to sew them together. There and there. Right, now lock in your stitches. 1 centimeter seam allowance, stitch length 2.5, off we go. Make sure you have the edges on top of each other. Oh, run out of thread. Anyway, I'll finish that off and then we go to the ironing board. And as per usual, we want to iron our seams flat before we iron them apart. It's just a really nice way of working, and it depends on what materials you work with. The thicker the material, the more that makes sense. Here, it's not necessary, but it's not a bad habit to get into. Iron your seams apart. Lovely.